I take my rightful place at the head of the table. Believe that.
Welcome to the Yeah We Know podcast, part of the YeahWeKnowys podcasting network. You're in the ring with Jimmy, Rod, and Chris. Chris, give me a father in a white t-shirt comment today.
Oh, I love you, Jimmy.
I know.
Listen, I've got to give it up this week to the Shinsuke Nakamura Cody Rhodes match. It was a pretty solid, old school type match that I really enjoy. You start off with feats of strength and you end with some hard hitting action. It was a great match. It was a match that reminded me of the early 80s, mid 80s, golden era type matches I used to love. So shout out to that match.
So back when you were in your 40s or so?
It was 50s, whatever. Doesn't matter.
Yeah. So Rod, how did you love that awesome ending to that 18-minute match?
I mean, you had basically warned me that we probably weren't going to see much of an ending between Cody and Shinsuke, but I really must admit I still was angry that it took us 18 minutes to get there. Like, why did he just bust a mist out after 18 minutes? And I hate the mist anyway. That's not where I wanted to start, Jimmy. Where I wanted to start is, when did my guy Seth Rollins essentially become Rick Moranis' character from Ghostbusters? I don't understand why my guy's the gatekeeper. Anybody that comes back to WWE has to feud with my guy first. I don't understand. I don't understand how we got here. I don't understand why he can't just focus on the championship. I don't understand why he can't just continue to come down to the ring, why he's got to save everybody backstage and mess around with the best in the world. I don't understand why my guy's the gatekeeper, Jim, and it's got me pretty angry.
Well, he is a workhorse on Raw, and I will tell you one thing. Seth Rollins loves the WWE, and he wants to make sure everything's going okay. I thought the promo was pretty solid going back and forth there. I do love the fact that we're not going to see this match until the Rumble. I mean Mania, not the Rumble. What am I talking about? This is going to be the Mania main event on night one, Rod. Are you okay with that or not? Because he's going to lose.
Fine, whatever. I mean, I'm not going to sit here on a wrestling podcast where we hope to garner listeners and just talk down CM Punk this entire time. All right, I'm just going to continue to remind people that at this point, CM Punk is not for me, and I would sign up for any number of feuds for my guy other than him right now, but I'm willing to give the WWE and Paul Levesque a chance.
Okay, so Chris, go, Chris. I'd love your. Has CM Punk swayed you at all since last week?
I'll say one thing positive, and then I got questions. I was real happy that the one person he said positive things about essentially was our boy LA Knight on SmackDown. Everybody else, it was kind of, should I fight with them or not? But he's like, I know one guy that I could fight with. And the crowd was right on target. That's how over LA Knight is. Other people can do his pointing and get the crowd to chant. My biggest question is, as a newer wrestling fan, and I'm sure there's probably others out there, why aren't they giving us more details into this backstory from 10 years ago? I have no idea what happened. I just keep hearing people say, you tried to actively destroy it. You tried to ruin the locker room. Don't let him back in. He's a cancer. But like, as a new wrestling fan, or who missed that whole entire period of time while he wrestled, I have no idea why they're talking about it, what they're referring to, or why Rollins is so anti-Punk.
Of course, Chris is all like, yeah, tell me more about the guy who's trying to break down the system. Tell me more about the guy who's a rebel. Tell me more about the guy who hates authority. Of course you're eating it up, Chris. This is ridiculous.
Chris, again, no, but this is terrific, Rod, because he has no idea. He has no idea that CM Punk was in a Royal Rumble. He got thrown out of the Rumble. He was hurt. He thought he had a staph infection on his back, and he quit the company and then went on a podcast with his best friend Colt Cabana and just railed on the company so bad, Chris, that the WWE sued him and fired him on his wedding day. They gave him his papers on his wedding day that he was fired. whole huge lawsuit.
Vincent Kennedy disputes that. He disputes that. He says it just the way
he
it
said
happened.
He didn't know
do
it was
on
coincidence.
Purpose.
People get married on the weekend, right? Why are you delivering stuff on the weekend if you're not doing it on purpose?
He didn't know when it was getting delivered, Chris. Let's not blame Vince here. We can blame Vince for many things. Let's not blame him for this one.
So the backstage stuff is what he did in AEW, and he just kind of destroyed AEW. What I found fascinating, though, was when CM Punk mentioned, I don't want to fight Kevin Owens because punching someone randomly in the back, that's not good in 2023. That's what he got fired for in AEW, and the fans did not at all react to it. Either one of two things. They didn't really know the story, which a lot of WWE fans, kind of like you two, honestly, are just WWE fans. They don't really care about anything else. Or number two, it's kind of so crappy that they didn't really want to acknowledge that. So Rod is still not a fan of CM Punk.
Jimmy, it's more this. People don't live on Twitter as much as we think they do, right?
Correct.
So us wrestling fans like to be out here. We like to be the dirt sheets. Chris just found out the definition last week, right? Sean Ross Sapp, all these guys, Meltzer, they all like trying to break their news. We got all these podcasts. And so there's just too much information out there. And I lost my train of thought because CM Punk angers me.
Well, yeah, and not everyone lives on Twitter, and we have to remember that in all aspects of life as well. You know, there's millions of people who've never opened the app before and never will, and we have to remember that when doing these storylines. Just like with Chris, who doesn't have the entire backstory. So I would really think that we should have some video packages. I'll call Paul up and let him know that we need some video packages on that, Chris. One thing though that you're going to be happy about is your boy Drew McIntyre's finally getting his world championship match against Seth Rollins at the Day 1 Raw, the first Raw in January. How excited are you for him not to win at this matchup?
I have a feeling you're correct that he is definitely not going to win.
I'm right.
which is unfortunate. I mean, what do you do after that with Drew?
There's an Intercontinental Championship again. There's Bloodline. He can go to SmackDown. He could do, it's tough.
This is why you should hate CM Punk, Chris. This is why you should hate CM Punk, because he comes in and he unseated your boy. He came in and he unseated your boy, looking like a dad who should take his daughter to a soccer match. That's what happened. That's why you should hate him.
I guess I could see a scenario where maybe Drew wins that and then loses it the very next week in a rematch. Or possibly a possible Rumble match. Maybe he loses it back to Rollins in the Rumble, and then you still get CM Punk versus Rollins in WrestleMania.
Look at you just coming up with some really good ideas here. Yeah, so I'm not sure how I feel about that, because do you really want the culmination of the CM Punk and Seth Rollins feud being Rollins losing it, then getting it back, then losing it again? Our boy's gone through a lot here, and we want to make sure that we treat him right. So I'm not sure if that's where I would go. CM Punk obviously signs with Raw. We did that. That was going to happen ever since Orton signed with SmackDown. But McIntyre, your boy, and Jey Uso had a pretty decent match to start things off, and that's how we got that championship, Chris.
Yep. I mean, Drew did the right thing, came out, apologized to Sami Zayn, whether it was perfect or not. It was an apology. He showed Jay how to do it. Jay still refused, still wanted to yell yeet. Kind of got what he knew was coming.
Rod, good match to start things off with. What would you rather have this been the main event and then the Miss be the first match?
I mean, what would we do if the American Nightmare Cody Rhodes wasn't involved in the main event of Raw? So heaven forbid that someone else could have anything to do with the main event, not being Seth Rollins. So no, we couldn't have had that happen. But here's my problem with that match. One problem only. And it started right from the beginning. Jey Uso's walking out with the Yeet t-shirt on again. The WWE apparently purchased the trademark from whoever had it. And so now Yeet is back in our life. And I am incredibly excited about it, Jim. Incredibly excited about just Yeet being yelled on top of being yelled, on top of Seth's song being sung, on top of CM Punk being yelled all the time. Yeah, still being around. I mean, it's incredible. As if the WWE universe needed more of an excuse to yell things, Yeet is back in our lives.
Chris, you mentioned that the CM Punk storyline you're not really sure about, but the Nia Jax Becky Lynch storyline, I think they did a pretty good job of recapping it. Does that hold your attention at all? Are you interested in this feud?
I thought that was a good little promo they did in the middle of the ring. I'm just the woman who made the man. I mean, that was a good line. And I know the history. They showed a clip. I saw what they were talking about. I saw the bloodied face. So, yeah, I bought into this rivalry completely.
Yeah, I'm glad you bought into that, Chris. But Rod, Becky said some things about Nia just hurting everybody, which is true. So are you interested in this match? I think this is going to be a pretty bad brawl, and someone might get hurt. I think Becky's got to win, though, right?
You would hope. I mean, I continue to not have any idea or clue as to what's ahead for Becky Lynch and why they've decided to tell the stories they've told with her. Like, why are we just now getting back to Nia Jax, right? I mean, I know Nia Jax and Shayna Baszler were tag team champions for a while. We could have done that then, you know. I mean, you bring back Nia Jax, you're trying to make her a big deal, and then this is all we're gonna get. So, I mean, fine, whatever. But yeah, I'm kind of interested, I guess, because I've seen that clip over and over, and I've seen some people zoom in on it, man. And like, you're right, Nia Jax is just careless, and she just straight pops Becky Lynch in the face like it's a real bar fight out there. You know what I mean? Like, that's not cool at all. So
No
I will
kidding.
be sort of interested to see if something like that goes down. I was watching another match too, where I never realized that Bianca Belair caught a boot in the eye in that Becky match against Becky Lynch, and like basically couldn't see when she finished out the main event at WrestleMania. So
that was bad.
It goes to show these guys and gals are absolute stone cold professionals when they get in the ring. And I think somebody will get hurt, Jim. You're probably right there. Your predictions should be heated on this show. I don't know about the other shows on the Morganino universe, but on this show, your predictions should be heated.
My Chargers Super Bowl bound, baby. Can I have been just for the record, everyone? Listen to the Balls and Brew podcast. Unbelievable. Williams gives some great tips out there. He had a really late one about the Bears this past weekend. I picked the Chargers to, I think, win the Super Bowl, and their team hasn't even made it out of the Week 14 alive. So just don't listen to me on that. You can listen to me on wrestling, and I will tell you this Rhea Ripley Maxine Dupree match was not good. They had about a 2-minute match, and they made about 6 botches. I hate the word botch because stuff happens. It was not a clean match at all. Not really what we wanted from Rhea. We need somebody a little bit better in there than Maxine to show us how Rhea is, right, Rod?
It just doesn't make any sense on any level, right? We've had Rhea Ripley be the champion for so long. She's barely fought anybody that we thought was a worthy competitor of her. Maxine Dupree has this little bit of a story, this little bit of a build. The Alpha Academy's coming together. It's a band of misfits, right? And then why would you put her in the ring with somebody as good as Rhea Ripley just to prove that she can't do it? I don't understand on both levels. It didn't do a thing for Rhea, and it certainly hurt Maxine. Didn't make any sense to me whatsoever. It smelled of a Vincent Kennedy booking, and he's not around anymore.
He is not. Chris King, are you excited to see once again The Miz against Gunther for the Intercontinental Championship?
I'm sure it'll be a good match like the last one was. I mean, you don't have a solid contender for Gunther right now until at least Rumble or WrestleMania. So I think this is just a holdover spot till the next little feud comes up.
It is because, Rod, please, if Miz loses, he never gets a shot at the Intercontinental title as long as Gunther's the champ. Miz is losing, correct?
Oh, yeah. I mean, I don't see any scenario where we're having Gunther just turn over the title on TV, right? Like, I just don't.
Yeah.
That's just not happening, I don't think. But I continue to just say we got to give the Miz his flowers. We really have to give the Miz his flowers. The guy's been doing it for an awful long time. And when you get down to the brass tacks of it, man, he's really, really good at what he does. So I'm pulling for the Miz to get some sort of nice little late career push here because the guy's basically done absolutely everything the WWE has ever asked of him. And I appreciate that because we have some other guys who get shown preferential treatment who certainly don't do anything of the sort. And here we all are crapping on Miz, the guy who shows up all the time for the WWE fans.
Man, you are so bitter. Bronson Reed and Ivar had another pretty decent match. 2 big guys just fighting each other. I love that feud. And it's something different on the show. And that's something the WWE hasn't done in the past, where these 2 guys just go out and beat the crap out of each other. I love it, Chris.
That top rope suplex was phenomenal. That finishing move, you saw that ring really flex hard where I thought it was going to break for a second. That was a phenomenal match. I thought they've had 2 great matches already.
They have, and they'll probably continue to do that. Rod, Creed Brothers, are you in or out?
I mean, these guys are phenomenal, but I'm not a huge fan of like, hey, we're corn-fed baby faces, because there's just nowhere you can go with that. So, I mean, I continue to say we're going to need to develop a character for these guys at some point, a bit of an angle, a bit of a story, other than like, hey, we're WWE superstars and now we're going to win the tag belt. Like, that's cool for a little bit, but then after that, what are you?
I'm hoping they're going to beat Judgment Day for those titles. I think it would be an interesting
fine, but then what, Jim? But then what?
They're going to have to face all the bad teams and all the bad guy teams and come back, and they're going to be double teamed and get a win out of nowhere, just kind of do that underdog thing.
So just classic corn-fed baby face. That's what we're doing.
Rod, yes. Rod, don't you see it'd be a perfect setup for a rivalry with your Yes Boys? They're a great heel for the Creed, right? So then you turn around and they take the belts from the Creed brothers, and then there you go. Your boys get the tag titles.
Aren't the Creed
because they can go on any show, right? Because they're the tag team champions. I think they can go on any show. Anyone can go on any show.
They got both belts, right? So
see, I don't understand. Why am I supposed to care that the last 2 weeks we've been following the CM Punk saga of where he's going to sign exclusively, but then we're just sitting here talking about it doesn't matter what show guys go on? I don't understand, Jimmy.
I agree. Speaking of that, Randy Orton signed with SmackDown. He was fined for giving a RKO $50,000. He gave Nick Aldis a check for $100,000. Why? For the next time. That's an old joke, and it's a fun joke. I liked it. I didn't like the fact that he didn't know who LA Knight was. He knew by the end of the night. I don't like that he said that.
Yeah, no, but if he hears voices in his head, apparently, then
they didn't talk to him about LA Knight,
right?
We have to pour one out for our boy Karrion Kross. Got a quick loss to Bobby Lashley. Not everyone can win. Not everyone can be in the main event. I just wish they were doing a little bit more with Karrion. It's tough, Rod. Tough.
He's perfect mid-card, man. Perfect mid-card. Has Scarlett down there for a little extra added attraction. Has a cool entrance. Is a solid wrestler. Big guy. Lots of things can happen through his matches. You need mid-card villains, right? Mid-card villains are the easiest thing to tell a little mini story with somebody else who's a heel who you're trying to get over, somebody who you need to continue to say has the virtue, is the baby face all the kids should love. You need mid-card heels to help get those people over. Why can we not make Karrion Kross that guy? I don't know, Jimmy. I'm as baffled as you are.
Chris, I mean, his in-ring work is okay. It's nothing special. That might be a reason, but his persona and everything else is pretty good, don't you think?
Yeah. Unfortunately, I don't think they were going to let an Army veteran lose on the show they were dedicated to the military. No. But I do agree they do need to do something with Karrion Kross. Some of his matches are great. The strap match and feud that he had with Drew McIntyre was good. Those matches were solid. They were bangers. So I can see where... I mean, maybe you can say he doesn't quite have the look that you need as far as his body. We talk about how wrestlers should look sometimes. But I think with his persona, his manager, he's got everything you really need. You just need a little bit of a push against a mid-card. Make him a heel. I mean, that's tough. I mean, get him in a rivalry with Chad Gable. They'd put on some matches, I bet.
Chad Gable can do it no wrong. Orton and LA Knight beat Solo Sikoa and Jimmy Uso via pinfall. The first part of the match was just normal, nothing match, and then it kind of got pretty cool at the end. We had Orton hit the RKO at the very end there for the win. Orton usually turns on somebody, so he and LA Knight will probably have a feud at some point coming up. And then we kind of buried the lead a little bit here. Asuka defeated Charlotte Flair via pinfall. And Charlotte Flair got hurt. Got a hurt knee. Legit. Not sure how long she'll be out. Just really kind of sucks. It really sucks at this time because we're starting to build that whole damage control. Is Bayley leaving? What's going to happen? And then something like this happens, Rod. I am sorry. That sucks, man.
Yeah, you're not going to be able to take your fun shots at Charlotte on the way out just for taking some time off here. That's not going to be possible for you at this point. So
No, she's actually hurt this time, and that sucks.
Yeah, I'm sorry for you there, Jim, that you don't get to bask in your glory and do one of your favorite recurring gimmicks here on the podcast. But yeah, no, I was bummed out.
It's recurring because it's true.
See, there you still got your shots in. Look how I set you up for that, like a good podcast partner.
It hasn't been lately, though. She's been there almost every week. I mean, she's been putting in work for a while now.
She's the best, man. She's the absolute best. What more am I going to say about Charlotte Flair on this podcast? She's the absolute best. I hope that she gets to come back and dominate one more time, two more times, however often she wants to continue to do it, because Charlotte Flair's the best, just like her father was the best.
Pretty good week of wrestling. Next week, though, we have our second annual YeahWeKnowys Awards. And I wanted to talk a little bit about some of the awards we did last year, and then we'll talk about the awards we have this year. Just going to talk about the categories, because obviously I think we need to do a little more discussion than we did before last year's voting. A couple of things in the news, though, that we started the show off with this time last year. Vince McMahon, it was rumored, wanted to get back into the WWE and take over creative again. I said, no chance. He's out. It's Vince McMahon. He came back in, but now he's out again. And this time it's not his company, so he is not coming back. And then Matt Riddle.
Are you sure about that? Are you sure about that?
At all. Not at all.
Exactly.
It would not surprise me if he bought the entire company back for $10 billion just so he could push Austin Theory moving forward, which was a big discussion point we had as well. Matt Riddle was going to rehab last year at this time, and Matt Riddle has not had a very good year. He's doing some OnlyFans stuff now, I believe.
But he's also going to fight RVD at some wrestling event in Columbus, Ohio in March. So there you go. Rob Van Dam, another guy who probably shouldn't be wrestling.
Yes, let's go. So those are the two big headlines that we had. All right. So last year we had a dozen or so awards, just like we will this year. A couple of them I want to talk about. First one I want to talk, I'm going to bury the lead here. First one I talk most improved last year. I said Dom, and it got the Rod. Oh, and I said how much people hated him and have his character, and I wanted to see that develop. Well, guess what, folks? We saw it develop. We saw his character, and people hate him even more. It was a pretty good pick last year for most improved.
Yeah, Jimmy, listen, yet another chance where we get to give you your flowers. You are the expert on this podcast for a reason. I am trying desperately to catch up to you because I have an ego and I like to be the one who everyone turns to for all things on the Morgan You Know Podcasting Network. And it pains me inside that you have better wrestling takes than I do, but that's just the facts.
Well, someone else had a pretty good take for most improved. Gunther with Chris King. Chris came out with Gunther, how good he has, and he's continued on, Chris.
Yeah, no, he had some just absolute fantastic matches this year all the way through. He broke Honky Tonk's record, so you got to give him his props.
Worst gimmick, I said Mansois. And this was just LA Knight was coming back in, and yes, that was pretty bad. That didn't go anywhere.
No longer employed with the company, so again, good call by you.
Rod, Jinder Mahal. What is Jinder Mahal? We don't know what he is. Guess what? We still don't know what he is. He comes on every 6 months as a manager now.
Yeah, he's a manager.
And then Chris, I love you, dude. You hated Elias with a passion. And then Rod said, what about Ezekiel? And you said, I don't care. I hate it. It's a stupid thing. And that was basically all you said. And I love that. I love you for that.
R.I.P. Elias and Ezekiel. I miss those guys.
We had best gimmick. Now, this is going to change this year, I think. We had best gimmick. All of us were pretty on the same page as the Brawling Brutes being the best gimmick last year. Remember, Sheamus had a lot of good matchups, and obviously the other two guys were okay as well. But it was really a Sheamus-based Brawling Brutes. Haven't seen much of them around, though, have we?
No, Sheamus is MIA for reasons we don't really know. I don't even remember if they sent him out with an injury or not. It seems like it's been so long ago, and they're trying to give us a Butch and Ridge the Fridge breakup, but nobody really cares about that much, I don't think. So I don't know, man. Tough for the Brutes. But yeah, listen, it was the best gimmick because bar fights, Jimmy. You could do a bar fight for any reason around any corner. Guys would be getting pints hit on their heads. Nuts would be flying everywhere. That's bar nuts, people. Bar nuts. And then we'd have bar stools. We'd have people crashing through bars. There was extra tables out there. Come on. Bar matches were great. That's why they were the best gimmick.
Yeah. Who doesn't like a just old-fashioned brawl, a street brawl like they've had before? So, yeah, They were fantastic. I actually have a question about gimmicks moving forward. Does it have to be a specific wrestler's gimmick, or can it be an overall WWE gimmick?
Give us an example, Chris.
Like a certain type of match as a gimmick.
Typically speaking, in this, and that's great. We're going to talk about all these, especially the next one we're going to talk about. But I think that it would probably be a wrestler instead of like a Hell in a Cell. If you could say, hey, is that the best gimmick? I don't know, Rod. What do you think? You should it be wrestler or can it be anything?
I think Chris can go ahead and make it anything he wants, but like be careful because we have also best match probably, you know what I mean? So like you're easily, whatever gimmick you're talking about could easily then become the best match possibly. But yeah, I mean, listen, you say a lot of crazy things. You flat out come on this podcast network sometimes and say you don't know a thing. So listen, I say keep the field wide open for you, brother. Let's see what lane you drive down.
And awesome. I say we have to define the word workhorse right now.
Yes.
Because I was lambasted on the show I helped create for saying the person on Raw and the team on SmackDown who wrestled the most on each show can't be workhorses. Can't be workhorses. I literally, Rod, I joked about it last year. I literally went through our text messages around those dates. Nowhere did it say mid-card in the workhorse. Now, if you want to define it as mid-card, that's perfectly fine. Rod, what is the definition of workhorse? We'll go off of yours.
Listen, ultimately, Jim, again, facts probably proved my argument a little bit wrong, right? I got a little bit out over my skis, got a little personal with things, right? Got a little hot up under the collar.
Yeah, my mother was very upset about that, by the way.
Started getting a little loquacious, right? Started just throwing words out there, trying to be entertaining. You know what I mean? You get wrapped up in it sometimes as a podcaster. So it happened to me. So yes, you're not wrong by saying that the person who worked the most on whatever particular show would be the workhorse. I guess in my heart of hearts was looking for another category where mid-card dudes could get shouted out. And quite frankly, again, it's always about me. I literally just wanted to talk about the Alpha Academy another time. So, I mean, you could spin it one or two ways, but I just thought another chance for a mid-carder to get shouted out was cool. But your definition of a workhorse certainly applies. And I apologize almost a year later, Jim, about my behavior that evening.
Chris King, Rod just apologized. What's going on?
I mean, it's obvious that hell has frozen over because we got CM Punk back in the WWE apparently, and now Rod's apologizing on air. I mean, I wasn't a survivalist or apocalypse prepper type person, but I might have to be now.
Lies. So you absolutely are.
Of anyone in the world who has something in his basement that he's going to crawl into, it's definitely you.
Yeah, no one knows whether or not I'm saying the truth or not, which is good because I don't want them trying to come find me if it does happen.
Okay, so we're going to change workhorse. Well, it's still the workhorse Raw, workhorse SmackDown.
Here's my other thought. Let me ask you this. I guess my other thought, Jimmy, I just thought of this while Chris was doing his wonderful little bit there. My also thing about the Alpha Academy, and I mentioned this on the pod, right? They were game for your backstage barbecue segments, your Christmas segment, right? Like, sure, Seth Rollins wrestled in a bunch of matches, but he's not showing up in game for anything that's going to make him take a pie in the face, right? Or have mustard squirted on him or something like that, right? And so I guess I sort of factored in the other accoutrement, if you will, that go along to make up a 3 and 2 hour wrestling program that aren't just matches.
So let's do with the workhorse Raw, workhorse SmackDown as the best mid-card wrestler or team or whatever on that show. I think that's fair. We're going to do best gimmick and worst gimmick, and that can be anything, as Chris mentioned. Best premium live event, the premium live event that we love the most.
Always a tough one. Always a tough one.
Especially since we went to one,
yes,
you and I, Rod.
That's true.
So that might be something that we take into consideration as well.
If you're betting on which premium live event all of us are going to go with, I'd say the odds are probably like minus 300 for me to pick Fastlane because I'll make it all about myself. So that's just some betting odds out there for the people.
Okay. Best non-wrestler, most overrated and most underrated, most improved. Go ahead.
Let's circle back for a second, Jimmy. We need
Williams.
We need to determine who is and who isn't a non-wrestler.
I think we had a fight about that.
Do we also need to determine the definition of is, Chris? I mean, come on, dude.
I mean, is it just somebody who is more of a part-timer who was a celebrity or something before, a Logan
like
Paul,
a Pat McAfee or whatever,
or a Pat McAfee? I mean, that's what that, and it's really Logan Paul who I'm trying to determine is officially a wrestler or not.
You're trying to stretch the definition of another category by asking us if you can bring in something that's just completely abstract, right? Or a match itself, right? Or if it's just you wanted to bring in the ring post. I don't even remember what you were talking about at that point. But now you need more defined. You need to be tightened inside more of a box in this category. Come on.
So you're asking if the United States champion for WWE is or is not a wrestler, is what you're asking, correct?
I mean, kinda. I guess by the way you're asking it, I should anticipate you saying he's a wrestler.
Yeah, I would say a best non-wrestler is someone who does not wrestle, who has not wrestled in a match in the calendar year of 2023.
Chris, I'm going to spoil it for everybody. Your favorite non-wrestler of the year is Samantha Irvin.
I mean, that's a good pick, but that wasn't who I was going to vote for.
All right, most underrated and most overrated. Chris, do we need definitions?
No, I don't think you need definitions for those.
No, but we're going to need boxing gloves if somebody tries putting Seth Rollins on that overrated list. That's what we're going to need.
Whoa, overrated.
Listen, I'm just getting it out there that I don't want anybody coming after my boy. I see the little glimmer in Chris's eye up there, like he's trying to figure out some way he can take shots at me with every one of his awards. I know he is.
You make me want to pick him more for that spot now just by that statement.
Look at you.
Most
we created
improved.
A monster, Jimmy. We did this. We brought him onto the show. We made him watch a WrestleMania, and look what we've done to ourselves.
It's been great, though. Most improved. Feud of the year, match of the year, best interview, tag team of the year. And then we have 3 special categories here. We have the wrestler of the year male, the wrestler of the year female, and overall wrestler of the year.
Nice.
Now, we've done that in the past. We kind of had to do that because we really wanted to give Rhea Ripley her just due. And I think that is very valid, but we also want to, get the males in there as well, making sure that, we're calling them out. We're going to have 4 new categories this year. Very, very simple. Who should beat Gunther? Who should beat Roman Reigns? Who should beat Seth Rollins? And maybe more importantly, who should beat Rhea Ripley? We're going to talk about who we think should beat him, and we're going to talk about when we think that will happen. Okay? So that is it. That is our YeahWeKnowys award. Next week, we're going to live stream that's all we're going to do next week unless something huge happens. But we're going to live stream these on Facebook and on YouTube. So make sure we check out the Morgan You Know if you are not subscribed to either our channel on YouTube or our Facebook group. Why? I mean, if you're listening to this, you got to be on one of those, right? We also have a huge Balls and Brew this week coming up. A lot of stuff going on in the NFL. Tons of unbelievable finishes. Everyone, I believe, is in the playoffs right now. Rod, is that correct?
It certainly does seem that way at the point. Like I even heard people saying, look out for Tommy Cutlets and the New York Giants trying to sneak into the playoff picture in the NFC. Your Bears are somehow in the NFC playoff picture. So yeah, definitely things going on over on the Balls and Brew show. But Jimmy, I am offended. I am offended that you are not going to ask who should unseat Chelsea Green and Piper Niven. I cannot believe you're not like the letter act respect that Chelsea Green gets even on this podcast, Jimmy. I try to talk her up all the time, and you still are taking shots at her on this podcast. Chelsea, I am the fan on this podcast. I'm the fan, not Jimmy. He doesn't even want to talk about your titles. You're a title holder, and he doesn't even want to bring it up.
Goodbye, net. Yeah.